brings you in here today?
I'm having a really hard time getting back to where I was in my spiritual relationship with God.
Okay, can you tell me how you are right now?
I used to be like really close to him and felt like I could feel his presence when I was in worship or anything like that. And now I just don't seem to feel like him. Like I feel like I keep asking him to get closer to me, but there's nothing there, and like I'm praying to nothing. Which I know that God is there because I've experienced him before. So I know it's just I don't really know what happened, but after I left my old church and came to a new one, I hit this wall of not being able to find God the way I used to.
Okay, so you feel like you can't really feel him anymore like you used to, correct?
Yeah.
Can you tell me how it used to be before you hit this wall, like how you felt about your faith?
My faith has always been there for me. I always wanted to grow closer to God, and in between 8th grade and 9th grade, I really felt God calling me to full-time ministry. And so from that point on, I found every opportunity I could to like research him and like be with him and find worship songs, and also like my favorite kind of music is worship. But after a whole issue with my old church, I left, and they were the church that raised me, and so I kind of felt betrayed by them, and so I had to start thinking about like, what do I really believe? Because how can these people who claim to be Christ followers like really treat me like this, or treat my family like this, and my church like this? And so after that, I just got more busy and stopped reading my Bible, stopped praying as much, and I just feel really apathetic, and I want to get back to being close to him and knowing that he's there regardless of my feelings.
Okay, well, let's start with, you mentioned how you left your church. How did you make this decision to like leave, and what were like the influences for it?
Like I said, there was a big problem. The problem basically was part of the body of the church had basically formed a small group and decided to cut everyone's salaries and basically make a split within the church. And I was the intern at the time, and so I got to see the staff's reaction to it, and the staff no longer felt like they could trust the church, which for me, you can't have a ministry if you can't be supported. And so for me, I didn't know what to do or whatever, and I was actually at a youth camp being a sponsor, and we had like these different free time things that offered some prayer, and so I was at this like 14 pillar of prayer thing, and it was talking like a lot more about praying about the church. And I just got to a point where I was praying to God, and I said, God, I don't know what you want me to do. Like, I don't know where you want me to go. I'm confused about this church thing. Do you want me to stay after all these troubles that I've been through and fight for it? Or do you want me to go where you can grow me? Because I hadn't felt like I was growing at the church. I felt like I was just being serving there. And I felt God say, do you trust me? And so I said, well, yeah, you can't really tell the creator of the universe that you don't trust him. And so then he said, I need you to leave your comfort zone. And at that point I knew that I needed to leave the church and find somewhere else. And my sister had already found another church, which is the church I go to now, and I love it. But at the same time, because I don't know anyone at that church really, they're not challenging me, and I don't feel like I have to like read my Bible. I don't have to show up to church, and I don't have to do all these things. And so for me, it's just weird to think how did I get to this point looking back?
Yeah.
And it's just decreased in my walk. I just haven't spent as much time with God.
Okay, why do you think that this new church is not working for you?
I don't think I've met enough people, and I'm really social. So at my old church, I always had people depending on me to be there. And I knew that if I wasn't there, the service wouldn't be able to be provided. At this church, there's a lot of people there, and they've obviously been having church without me there. So for me, like, just my busy schedule and all that stuff, like, I keep wanting, I think my, like, heart is there. I want to go there. I want to get involved, but I don't exactly know how. So I'm partially afraid of doing something wrong and not being able to get involved, because a lot of it, like, they have a really big college ministry, but a lot of them have been there the entire time, and with me, like, skipping out because the Sunday school starts way earlier than my old church did, and I'm not a morning person. So for me to get up that early is really hard for me, especially when I probably worked the night before to like close at 10 p.m. And so I just feel like I don't have someone checking in on me, or I don't feel that I have to be there. And so it's been more relaxed for me.
Yeah. Well, I hear that you feel like there's no one challenging you, and that you really, like, your heart's in it, and you really want to put yourself in there, and you clearly are more of a servant person, and
Yeah.
that's where you feel like you're gonna really feel the lawn whenever you're working with everyone there.
Yeah.
What do you think is holding you back from doing all this?
I don't think I know any of the opportunities I can serve in, because I don't want to step on anyone's toes. And I think that at my old church I was really comfortable asking in my certain areas because I just automatically got involved and they knew me, so they knew my strengths. But to come into a place where they already have a system in play that's obviously working, I don't know like what I could add to them, or like if they would really even be interested in my service, and so I don't really know where to serve in the church. And I also don't know a lot of people for them to trust me in order to serve. And so I would love to meet new people, but at the same time I don't know the opportunities to meet new people.
Okay. You said that you believe that God wanted you to get out of your comfort zone, and not to push you away from leaving your church, but do you think by doing this you're going to have to get out of your comfort zone because you're going to have to get in touch with people you don't know?
Yes, I do think I need to get out of my comfort zone. I'm not sure how to get out of my comfort zone. The college minister has really opened up and tried to be like accepting to Lauren and me and all stuff, and she constantly tells us that she wants to meet up with us, but like my schedule hasn't worked out with hers, or it's just, I don't know if I'm afraid to take that first step, or whether I'm like afraid of committing to something and then not being able to do it. And I don't like disappointing people, and I don't like telling people that, hey, I'm sorry I can't show up to that. And with my work schedule being so wishy-washy each week, like I don't know what days I'm working and what times I'm working, that I can't have a set structure. And I think that that's what I'm afraid of the most, is like starting something that I can't actually complete, and what I'm gonna, like, having people rely on me.
Okay, well maybe that's what is holding you, like the walls put up, and why you're not really feeling His presence, because then you're not really serving anymore, and you're afraid to put yourself out there, which is making you, it's uncomfortable, but you feel like God is making you wanting you to be uncomfortable, so that way you're more well-rounded and getting to see Him in different aspects. And so maybe that's something to work on for this next week. Would be find something, even if it's small, and getting in touch with the college minister and be like, hey, let's meet up once this week, and just find a way of doing that, and slowly working up into getting more into a servant place like you were at your old church, and it's in a new place, and you'll be able to have God work through you in different ways.
I really like that idea. I actually know my work schedule this week, so maybe I can get together with my college minister and we can actually have lunch or coffee or something like that, and I can discuss it, and she can at least tell me some kind of opportunity to maybe start serving.
Yeah.